All right, what is up, everyone? It is a beautiful day here in Southern California. There is not too much traffic. About 75% chance of humidity. No, I'm joking, guys. What's up? So we're on our way right now to my facility, and we have a special guest coming in today, meeting me there. You guys probably already know who he is. You guys have watched his YouTube. If you guys are even into reptiles, you guys already know who he is. We're gonna go ahead and show him a little tour of the place and let him pick some of his favorite reptiles that I have in there. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys in a bit. All right, guys, so obviously we have Barczyk here. Thanks for coming in town. And we're gonna have him pick out some of his favorite reptiles in my collection. We showed you a little bit of the collection today, and you got to see everything. So what are some of your favorite animals?
Oh, man, well, we're gonna start right off the bat with this false water cobra. It's a male, it's absolutely gorgeous. There's something about false water cobras that are just amazing. I mean, they look like elapids. They obviously have mild venom, but they are just so incredible. And the thing is that they're typically so docile. That's the thing I love about them. The colorations, and now you get into some of the mutations like lavenders and stuff like that, recessive that's coming out. It's just amazing. So there's no doubt that this would definitely be one of the top animals that I've seen here. Not to mention, I mean, there's tons of great animals. We could make this into a 2-hour-long video easily, just looking at the animals. But for now, I'm going to definitely start with the false water cobra.
And we only got 4 more options left, so let's move on to the next, guys. So second, we have the Burmese Python right here. And I know you love Burmese Pythons, so tell me why. Why is this one your favorite? How did it even catch your eye?
Well, you know, I've done Burmese. It was the first snake I ever had when I was 15 years old, as far as like real snake outside of garter snakes and stuff like that. So Burmese have always had my heart. And this one in particular is just really cool. So, you know, way back in the day when greens, or what they called patternless back then, were out, you know, they were one of the only mutations out there. So
really?
I remember them being like, you know, like $2,000 for a baby green. You know, and that was in the very beginning. So greens are amazing. And then, of course, I actually saw the first granite Burmese pythons that were ever brought into the country. A guy named Eric Kreider actually brought them in. We were in Daytona. Actually, I think it was Orlando at the time, at the big National Breeders Expo, and he actually had a bag of 3 of them, and he poured them out on the bed in his room. Like, I went to his room and poured them out on his bed, and there were little baby granite Burmese that he brought in from Vietnam. The first ones ever that came into the country. So the fact that you have a green and a granite together, I just love the color. I love the little bit subtlety of the pattern going on. And again, Burmese pythons are amazing. So the nostalgia of Burmese and the beauty of Burmese, love them, dude.
And I gotta tell you this, one thing you guys may not know is he's the reason I got into Burmese pythons. When I was a kid and I saw him with Burmese pythons, all I knew is I needed a Burmese python, a retic, and an anaconda. And this one right here is definitely a reminder of why I appreciate watching you as I grew up so much, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And this is, I just love it. I mean, what a gorgeous
Darling is awesome, but I think we gotta go on to the third favorite animal. Let's go.
It's getting harder.
So third favorite animal right here. Brian, I already know you have Cyclura coronatas or Rhino Iguanas at the shop, right? At the Reptarium. Why are they your favorite?
I mean, they're an amazing animal. I remember seeing my very first rhinos way back with Ty Park down in Punta Gorda, now Iguana Land, and just seeing how amazingly docile they were. And then, of course, we got our first rhino, which is my girl Bella. Now we have Diddy and Dixie as well. But look at how amazing they are. I mean, number one, they're so prehistoric looking with that chiseled face and just amazing animal. But the relationship that you can get with a rhino is just absolutely incredible. I mean, they're just, I mean, look at, they just want to get petted. They just want to hang out with people. It's just crazy.
Like puppies.
They're like
right. I tell everyone they're just like puppies. Now you said Ty Park. I think you're gonna love this because these are right from Ty Park's place. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, he really changed Cyclura because, you know, back in the day, you know, there was maybe 10 or 12, you know, rhinos being produced a year. Whoa. And then he came around and started producing like 200. As a matter of fact, at one point, Ty had more babies and adult rhinos than they were in the wild.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
we're really pretty lucky to have these, actually.
Oh, so if it wasn't for the efforts of guys like Ty Park, and in particular Ty Park, these guys wouldn't be in the market like this, you know, and they were so sought after and so like uncommon just 10, 12 years ago, and now you can almost get them no problem, which is just amazing. And anyone that has the time, the room, and the energy, I mean, this is an animal that is apex. I mean, when it comes to relationship with reptiles, a Rhino Iguana, I mean, absolutely stunning.
Well, thanks, Peanut. I appreciate you giving us a little show right now, and I appreciate you for being my puppy. But ready for this, guys? Fourth favorite reptile. Let's go. So fourth favorite animal for you right here is
Cat green anacondas. I mean, come on. Look, this girl's starting to get squirmy on me. Come on, sweetheart. That's the one thing about green anacondas. Oh, she's going back in her thing.
Why is it green anacondas besides ivy? I know you have ivy, right?
I have three. Well, I have a bunch, but I have three that are really special to me. I've got ivy, Ariana, and of course Verde, which was my first anaconda I ever had. And there's just something about them. I mean, they're so inquisitive, they're so interesting, and they can be a little feisty at times. But when you get one like this that's really docile, you can never really, it's like the apex, And again, everyone thinks a green anaconda is like that, that giant. Everyone thinks it is the longest snake in the world. It's of course not the longest snake, particularly pythons are, but it is the heaviest bodied snake, or at least, rivals the reticulated python for sure in that way. And there's just something amazing about it. Every person on the planet, when you say anaconda, knows exactly what it is.
Yep.
And it's, they're iconic. They are amazing. And I personally want to disprove that kind of rumor about them being mean and nasty and hard to work with. And I want people to realize how amazing green anacondas actually are. So when you interact with something like this beautiful girl here and see how amazing they are, it takes away that legacy that they have of being like mean, vicious killers.
Like all the movies show, basically. Yeah, and just like you saw this one right here, this one's kind of snappy, but you hold it the right way and everything. And he's as calm as ever, calm as any other boa, honestly.
Yeah, and if you work with him enough, he's going to become as docile as this animal here, and that's what's incredible. Literally, I always say this, my favorite snake on the planet is actually green anacondas.
Wow, so not the green granite berm, but the green anaconda. Okay, but a close one of the two, no?
No, green anacondas. They're just amazing, and the relationship I have with all three of my big girls are it's just incredible. And Ivy is number one, apex. Ivy, my green anaconda, number one snake I've ever owned in my entire life.
That is awesome. I couldn't agree with you more. These anacondas definitely made my whole entire life. Having them recently, I just got these recently, but after getting these, it's like it scratched this itch for anything else I needed. After having the retics, the berms, and now the anacondas, I have all three here. It's just kind of filled that void of, as a kid, needing all three of the world's largest snakes, and now having them, and like you were saying, just proving that fact that anacondas aren't as mean as people say, or retics aren't man-eating snakes, and Burmese pythons aren't, the killers and invasive everywhere they go. Obviously some areas have their problems, but that comes with the territory of them. But these things are just amazing animals. But we do have a lot of things to do today, so let's get on to that fifth favorite reptile, guys. Your choice. Let's see what you pick.
I already know what it is.
I gotta tell you guys, this is the only guy I know that doesn't get bit by any of my snakes. You guys know I get bit by almost everything in here, but this guy seems to just have the special blood that the snakes do not like. But go ahead, your favorite last snake.
Yeah, I tell you what, although the green anacondas are definitely amazing, this animal is unbelievable, a xanthic black-headed python. I remember when the very first xanthic blackheads were produced. They were actually produced over in Europe, and it was just absolutely incredible. A guy named Pete Harris produced them, and it was just absolutely incredible. And this is the first one that I've seen here in the States, actually.
Really?
So I've held some in Australia because they were produced in Australia as well, not too long after Steve Harris produced them, or did I say Steve or Pete? I think it was Pete Harris, but regardless, just amazing animal, recessive mutation. Look at the color on that. It is crazy. And again, I was talking to Josh about that black head, right? And the kind of evolutionary process of what happened with here. Of course, this is an Aspidites, which is a genus of snake, also with the Woma pythons. And really the big difference is Womas are a little bit more tan, a little smaller, but they don't have that black head. And there's only two species of snakes in the Aspidites genus, the blackhead and the Woma python. But that black head is an adaptation that basically allows them to heat their entire body up without coming out, so basically they can hide their entire body inside rock formations and just have their head out, and the sun will heat their head and it thermoregulates their entire body. But this snake definitely creme de la creme, dude. This is as good as it gets, man.
I gotta say, I didn't know that about the black head on there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's stuff even I don't know. And this guy is like an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to reptiles, especially Australian reptiles, it seems like. So this one right here, I didn't know that. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but comment down below if you knew that or did not, because again, I definitely did not know that. I just thought they had a cool black head and I needed it. So there we go. That one. And you didn't know this, but we're gonna do one bonus round. So instead of this being the last, one more bonus. Pick anything in the shop. You tell me what is something that really caught your eye earlier today.
I tell you, I think I've got an animal in mind, to be totally honest. One that just barely didn't make the top 5. I'm glad we got a bonus.
The last one you told me is in this rack right here.
It sure
And
is.
this is actually produced spot on. My buddy TL Constrictor is a really good friend of mine. He takes care of all the boas here. Most of these are actually his boas, but some of the boas even I purchased, he takes care of all of them.
Nice.
Why did that catch your eye?
I mean, come on, a white boa constrictor. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
You got to remember that, when I was getting going early on in my career, the white snake was the pinnacle snake. At that time, there was only leucistic Texas rat snakes, and everyone wanted leucistic everything. That black-eyed or blue-eyed leucistic. They wanted Burmese pythons. They wanted, reticulated pythons. They wanted ball pythons. Of course, boa constrictors. And the first white, big, giant snake I ever saw was actually Bob Clark had a big, white, black-eyed leucistic that he brought to the the second ever Orlando National Breeders' Expo. And unfortunately, it died before it produced. So we don't know what it was. We don't know if it was like a super form of something. We don't know, but it was solid white like this, black eyes. And I remember being blown away. It was like 17 foot long, unbelievable. And so then that was always the quest, right? And then I remember when we first started seeing, ball pythons produce. And then I remember seeing a picture of the leucistic boa, the Princess Diamond, when it was over in the wild, and then somehow it kind of trickled its way into
somehow, we know how, but
we all know how they got here, but
we won't say it.
but now, all these years later, they're being produced, and of course, they're Central Americans and Colombians, and it's just, I mean, it's again, white snake's pinnacle when it comes to like mutations in reptiles, and I still am dreaming of some other white animals like solid white water
Anaconda.
Yeah, and leucistic anaconda would be great, I mean, but yeah, this is just and every time I get an opportunity to hold a leucistic or Princess Diamond, or I mean, it's like power. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And I mean, take a look at that snake right there. How could you not think that thing is ridiculous?
All right, Brian. Well, thank you for coming to the shop. It's been a pleasure having you here. Definitely, man. Thanks for coming all the way to California. I hope you enjoyed everything, but I think we have some stuff to do today. And besides that, I owe you finally, after a year of waiting, to go down to your shop. And I promise I'm going to go visit. I'm going to pick my 5 top favorite animals for sure, guys.
You're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I bet I am.
Just as hard as I had. It's good.
Probably harder, actually.
It's awesome.
But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.